You aren't learning anything when you're talking. Lyndon B. Johnson. Thanks for being here. And before I get into this, punch on that like button as it shows your support and appreciation for the various content here. Thank you. As we should know, everyone wears the mask. And no, it is not related to the beer bug. The proverbial mask that I speak of is to hide something or a lot of things. And from that point, in comes the gaslighting, among other negative human-based actions. Have you lived long enough to look back and say to yourself,
I don't know why I did or said that.
Or,
what was I thinking?
If you have, then you are also the mask wearer. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing and greatly depends on your mindset. Knowing what and who you are is gravely important to each and every individual. Have you ever told loved ones, friends, associates, co-workers, or just a random person an idea for whatever, just for them to speak negatively and or no life into what you have just disclosed? This is an example of a person not wearing the mask, being themselves, thus no mask needed. As stated earlier in this video, wearing the mask is not all around bad. Meaning, when meeting anyone new, the mask must be worn to protect oneself and feel out another. Also, an example of another being something and becoming a not in an instant is how others do not have to support another on their venture. They also are not obligated to destroy in any way said venture. The friend, associate, etc. was the former and became the opposite. Do not allow this to discourage you from the moves needed for forward progression. Do not allow yourself to be lazy and just do the work. Your future self will thank you. I mean, how else does one succeed? You would think that last tidbit was a given. And for a select few, it is. But there's far more less knowledgeable of this particular fact of not being lazy and doing the work for the desired effect and success. Why is that last tidbit only absorbed by a select few? That's anyone's guess. But on this channel, guessing is not something that the listener and the watchers have to do. I lay out experiences, my experiences, both minor and major, and provide solutions. Solutions that may or may not work for everyone. Thing is, when you do not try before you dismiss, you are doing yourself and possibly another a disservice. Let's dive a little deeper. Some would argue that we are born ignorant, meaning not knowing. But how is that true when a newborn feels and knows their mother? A safer bet would be that we're born with a certain level of ignorance, but not complete. No one knows how to use a toilet after being born. It is an acquired skill through teaching and repetition. No one knows out the womb how to walk. It is learned through ambition to move around and trial and error. And many errors, in fact. I remember my second son when he was born. And his mom and I became a family unit. In that unit was another guy's child to contend with. That child was a little butterball and was used to people picking him up for him to be moved around to different areas. Now, he was strong enough to walk, but did not have to, as he had so many who promoted laziness. I was newly entered into his life. I promoted him to walk, and instead of receiving support on this venture, his mom condemned me for being as a man is, tough with accents of love. I seen that he was spoiled by his constant crying when he was made to walk versus carrying around a healthy little butterball for smiles and giggles. This meant that he was lazy, spoiled, and angry that he had to work. Until he wasn't. Which goes to the topic, or the title, should I say, Everyone's Something Until They're Not. Even as infants, we must learn to work for what we want. And for you detractors, lastly, looking at how an infant is hungry and their behavior, which is being irritable, little noisemakers, poop machines. But put a boob or a bottle close to their face and watch their eyes light up. Their mouths start to water and pucker up, and their arms and hands reach for the food, and watch them put in work to remove milk from the boob or bottle. The moral is, when we as infants are not taught early to work, we get what this society is. And that's the reality.